How's it going, 3D printers? Andrew Sink here. Of all the crazy sci-fi weapons in Rick and Morty, I think my absolute favorite has to be this Duracell-powered laser cannon from Season 3. It's just such a cool and interesting weapon, and it's built sort of ad hoc. Pickle Rick makes it out of scraps he finds lying around, and the whole thing is put together in just a couple of scenes. I 3D printed this replica with working lights and sounds. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I designed it, printed it, and then finished it to make it look exactly like the one from the show. You ready? Let's dive in. I designed this model in Fusion 360 based off of a few different reference photos. This model prints out in a few different pieces, so there's room in the center for electronics, and so you don't have to use a lot of support. Alright, let's put it together. This is the sound recorder module that's in the center of the unit. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off the speaker, and we're going to rewire it so that it's modular. We're just going to add some leads to it so we can plug and unplug it, that way we can add the speaker to the outside of the case. So first, let's go ahead and strip and solder the wires on the speaker and on the board. Now that that's finished, we need to wire an on and off switch to the board. The board normally uses a photoresistor which turns on and off when exposed to light, but because this is going to be housed inside the body, we need to actually hardwire a switch. So we're going to do the same thing we did to the speaker and wire up a couple of leads that we can plug and unplug so we can move the switch around. Now it's time to start mounting some of these components into the body of the unit. First, I'm going to take the switch and slide it through one of the holes. We're going to pull it through and leave the leads sticking out of the body, and we'll plug those in a little bit later. Next, I'm going to finish soldering the LEDs to the front of the case. We're going to run the wires for those all the way through the back, and we'll be plugging those in once everything's closed up. Now it's time to start closing the case up. I'm using a little bit of CA glue and just dabbing it on and checking to make sure everything still works as I close it up. To fill any gaps or seams that are left, I'm using Laser Bond, which is a fast curing UV sensitive glue. So I'm just going to dab some of that into some of the cracks, flip the pen around, and then use the light to cure it. To paint this model, I used a few different types of metallic acrylic paint. Once I had most of the painting finished, I wanted to add a few extra details that I saw in the original model. So I used a bit of CA glue and dropped a couple of screws into the holes and used some accelerant just to get them to set. Once I was finished with that, I painted some rust onto some of the screws and added some silver highlights using a metallic silver paint. The very last step was to add the speaker to the back and to add a little bit of tape to the sides to make it look more like the model from the show. I went through a lot of different iterations of this, including one where I tried to use a button on the side. It just didn't feel right though, which is why I decided to go with the switch. The switch has a really cool feel to it, and I'm really happy with the way it looks. So that's Pickle Rick's laser cannon. I'm including a link in the description where you can download all the files to make one of these yourself. Let me know if you make one. This was a super fun project to work on, and I'm looking forward to seeing some more of these out in the wild. As always, thanks for watching and have fun printing.